Dad, Umji, and Heeseung at the hotel. Last night they were together. They started it at first. What do you mean, wine? Are you blaming Umji? She boiled with anger. Honey, look, she's blaming Umji for her doing now. I have always treated her like my own child. There is no need to say anything. Wine, you let ruin your engagement by yourself. You can't blame anyone. Mr. Kim stood angrily. You had also signed the contract that you wanted to transfer your share to Umji. You better not regret it. You were shocked. You didn't think about share of Kim Group that given by your father, 20% share as a compensation. Mr. Kim given to you, but now it's snatched by your one. I didn't sign any documents. Mr. Kim showed the documents and you don't know how your signature was on the paper. It must be Yvonne. Umji did it herself. She must. Enough. How could you doubt on Umji? She treated you like her own younger sister. She will be really sad to hear this. You are pointing your finger on her. As a sister, you sneered. Auntie, your words are really strange. Do you think I am your biological daughter and she will treated me as her younger sister? Mr. Kim is so annoyed by what happened and the gossip about you. He turned to Jae-sang, give her some money and don't let her come here again. He turned and left the scene. Seeing him leaving, your heart tightened. Your father had always treated you nicely, but now he's really disappointed. Dad, since you don't believe me, then I will never come back. Take care. You got your father's gene. Everyone knows you never bow your head to anyone. You are arrogant and independent. Either father nor daughter looked back to each other for once. Mrs. Kim revealed evil smile. Finally, Kim family sprinkles removed. She is really satisfied. Mrs. Kim knew that her daughter likes Heeseung and she is willing to propose marriage for her to the Lee family. At night, you walked around the parking lot. You were kicked out of house and the worst, your reputation is ruined. Furthermore, paparazzi are always there to create problems. Not having any solution, you call your friend and tell her the situation. She is one of reporters, Kim Chong-ha, and she take you in. Next day, after breakfast, you left your friend's apartment and went to parlor. At first, you cut your hair short in a wolf style. You believe sooner or later, Heeseung will regret for his doing. It's not your thing to sit in the corner and cry for the sake of boy. So after that, you plan to go and give interview to some advertisement company. On the way, black car stopped your way and two sturdy men fiercely stood in front of you. Miss Vine, they asked, and you were so afraid that you were ready to run, but men immediately grabbed your arms. What are you doing? Two men looked at the phone and looked at you. It's you. Boss John wants to see you. Come, get in the car. No, no, I don't know you guys. You have mistaken me for someone else. You're afraid of kidnapped. I have nothing. I don't have money. You can't kidnap homeless person like this. Please help, help. You screamed, but it's useless. Two strong men squeeze you into car. Car stopped at the luxurious fun park. There is many expensive cars. You have heard that many rich people came to this place. Just as you are wondering if you had offended a powerful man, you were taken inside by men. A big swimming pool and several waiter and waitress stood respectfully by the edge of pool. There is various brands of drinks. Your throat tightened looking at them, and there is man in the clear pool gliding through the surface of water. And when you found the man who came to you previous day, you slapped your own forehead. Looking at men You had a bad feeling. Two men informed their boss who's swimming in the water, sinking and floating, stretching his graceful muscles. He had the nobility of an emperor, a high ranking temperament. After a while, he came out supporting himself by the railing and he walked gracefully in front of you, wiping his hair. The most important thing was his baby looking face with that lip and eyebrow piercing and full sleeve tattoos and visible abs and all. Looked wild. You gulped down your saliva. He sat on the chair with a good figure that could make one nail on the ground. Wearing shorts, revealing his each perfect muscles, his wet hair, that water dripping down. He took a glass and sip of drink. Came wine, the beautiful voice, which made women's ears feel numb. You had heard his voice countless times on the TV, but hearing in person is much more beautiful than you have ever thought. Miss Vine, who has just been pushed out of Kim family, is optimistic, intelligent, beautiful and fearless. Do you want to marry me? That was sudden that it left you dumbfounded. Huh? You had been there for a while, waiting for your punishment, with your head down. When you heard this, you didn't respond at all. Your mind went blank. I am giving you a job. Be the president's wife. This is the best job for you in the world. He looked you up and down, then put his glass aside. He's not offering you, but ordering you. I was the one who had spent night with at the hotel, so I'm willing to take responsibility. Furthermore, we won't interfere with each other after we get married. But you have to give birth to a child for me, and we will have some alone time every month. You can calculate the times we spend together, and each time you can get 1 million. Your eyes widened. You couldn't believe the man you spent night with was CEO of multinational groups and you give him 1000 tips yesterday. Looking at handsome man, you began to fear because you had heard of his supreme position in the domestic business circle and he's already involved in many countries. This man could be sad, rich and powerful. Even many biggest companies owner give him respect. Your heart thump and you bow your head. Didn't the outside media said that he is gay? Why would he want to marry a woman? No, actually President John wanted to marry you. Who are you? You are just a illegitimate daughter of Kim family that driven out and he asked you to give birth child to him. You are just 18 years old. You must refuse this terrible thing. You were so young to give birth. No, no, this offer is huge. But you screamed in your mind. You have no room to refuse. You have been kicked out of house by Kim family and lost your reputation and economic resources. If you can't get rid of this sin, then it will mark for the rest of your life and I need to get married to close my family's mouth. He leaned back crossing his legs. As my wife, you will get a salary every month. You won't have to worry about life and survival. I will arrange to solve your problems with people. It won't do you any harm. He took the glass to took another sip and his tone became little commanding. If you marry me, I can avenge you. You are stunned. Indeed, this man is really perfect. It would be lucky to marry him, but you are afraid that you don't know about him much. But why, Mr. John? You are not stupid. If you want to marry, then there would be many high status ladies line up for you. Then why you are offering me to marry you? Because you are ordinary and we had spent night. He simply replied with domineering tone that you felt arrows in your heart and you puffed out some air. Mr. John is so straightforward. The corner of your mouth twitched. Are you saying that You just wanted to marry me and close your family up to cover up your identity as a gay. He didn't answer you about his orientation. This man is so perfect. I will be crying. His face made once depressed. It's hard to believe that he's not married yet. At least this is what you have guessed, cause he wanted to marry illegitimate daughter of Kim family, that who had kicked out cause you had cheated on your fiancée to the point he's 10,000 better than anyone. Once you'd look at him, it's almost unable to look away, and if you wanted to take revenge on anyone with his strength and be a president's wife, this method don't seems bad either. I won't answer your question right now. You can have many times to know it in the future. He looked at you as if he's doubting your logic. You don't have to ask anything if you marry me. Isn't it better than being the daughter of Kim family? He will give you his surname after all. What's more? Anyway, you wanted to marry someday and have baby, but too with his condition, it looks like he wanted you to be good wife. While he can continue to play with the men outside, that's how your mind is thinking about him. I have to think about it. You're a little nervous, but this offered really moves you. But we'll really be nominal couple and you will help me to solve my issues. And if I marry you, will I get salary every month? And you will help me whenever I need it. You can say that. He said decisively, 5 times in a month and 5 millions you can get. If we did more than that, you can count on it and your money will add it. Your jaw hung up, isn't it much? Why you felt like that you are falling into his trap? Then will you oppress me in the future? There is hint of interest in his eyes. When you both eyes contact, you felt regret asking it and lowered your head. I just want to be sure that you will fulfill your promise. So that way I will not suffer any losses. He looked at Little Women indifferently. We will live separately after marriage. Just nominal couple and you can enjoy your month luxuriously. But you have to help me to solve my needs. Sometimes, as for money, you don't have to worry about it. I'm not short of money at all. Hearing about money is great, but when it comes to sleep with him, you became anxious. He's really straightforward person. Mr. Kim, can I think about it again? You glanced at his secretary. I asked your secretary to give you something. Can you give it back to me first? Hope he didn't say it. You mean this? Jungkook picked up the envelope that was on the table the whole time. Your eyes widened. Speaking of this, Miss Kim, can you explain? You said that I'm good at it. Are you very satisfied with that night? Smile on his face became deeper. You blushed and waved your hands. No, Mr. John, you left without a word and now you offer a marriage to me. So I have to digest this thing first. You immediately rushed to him and snatched the envelope from man's hand and ran away. Jungkook looked at the figure rushing out. This woman was quite bold. President John, Song Min-ho walked forward. Do you want me to ask someone to follow her? No need. Are you really going to marry this girl? She is only 18 years old and her background. That's it, Jungkook interrupted. Before he wasn't in mood to marry. But since you were kicked out of Kim family, marrying a girl without relatives is more convenient for him. No one gonna disturb him. Otherwise, marrying high status girl would make him headache for no reason. The most important thing is, Jungkook smiled coldly. People should learn the lesson for their doings. After coming out of Fun Park, Jungkook's secretary informed that you only have 3 hours to think about it. Then you had to give him your final answer. and wedding will be soon. He said that no one gonna attend their wedding. Only you and him, that's all. This was not usual kind of wedding and you have no idea, but President John is obviously not giving you much time to think about it. Thinking about age gap between you two, you are already hesitating. So you called your friend worriedly, Chanmi, listen to me. If I tell you that I may get married, would you think it's strange? No, I wouldn't. Kim Chung-ha thought you were joking. I know that you can't be sure about the relationship between Heeseung and Umji. So it's not strange for you to have crazy imagination, but fine, don't be stupid. You can survive without Kim family and you could find a man better than Heeseung. I am not kidding. I mean, it's true. I may really get married. Your hands trembled slightly. Are you out of mind? Chung Ha shouted. Are you serious? Don't joke with your life. You were just 18 years old and didn't. It is your final year of high school. You need to think how to be happy. Your eyes move around on the road. My stepmother said that I'm nothing without them. Then I will show them that I don't need them to survive and have a happy life. Are you mad? Chung-ha was extremely anxious. Why listen? You don't have to sacrifice yourself. Even you want to show them and take revenge on Heeseung. You don't have to go and find old rich man to marry. I will tell you later. You hung up the phone. You just called her thinking that she might comfort you, but she is even more anxious than you. Anyone could be concerned thinking that your fiancé had broken the engagement and accused you for cheating, then you decide to marry. Will not make sense to anyone, but at least that guy is not old. One thing is right to marry him. It's not bad deal. There is many upper class lady wanting to marry him. For you, it was like instantly getting the most powerful backing and it's fine to marry him. He is hot and rich. Furthermore, you will be number one company's president's wife and get high salary. Let's search bio about this Jungkook guy. Rumors about Jungkook and Taeyong is all over the internet. Is he really gay? Then that night, did he really treated you as a man? There is no problem on it. No matter how handsome and rich he is much older than you. Definitely not old man, but it should be uncle. Can we call 8 years older man uncle? As soon as you reached near the apartment building of Chung-ha, you saw dozen paparazzi gathering outside. You can't go in and it's completely miserable to stay with your friend. It can't bring her some travel and one of reporters called someone to inform that you are not there. After the storm, Jungkook's words echoed in your mind. Definitely there is no room for you outside anymore. Not having any thoughts, you sit in the taxi and hesitate whether to call Song Min-ho or not. Only John Jungkook can help you at this time. Miss, where are you going? Driver asked. You couldn't look up cause your eyes are slightly red. Itaewon. You said the rich people's villa area. Home to the most rich people's residents. You had spent good time with Heeseung there. Heeseung often used to say that you were most beautiful girl he had ever seen. Angel with a broken wings. Who was wine with that night? Well-suited man stopped in the middle of road at the entrance of Itaewon and made phone call. His voice was terrible. Mr. Lee, I really don't know. Other line, man was afraid of offending him. Miss Fine found drinking at the club that night, thinking about he had been involved with that girl for long and hadn't touched till yet. He couldn't bear the fact that you were with man that night. When he was about to get in the car, he saw a familiar figure. At that time, you were standing not so far from him. This man's charm and handsomeness made many people envious of you, being able to win his heart. The hand he had put on the door froze at the moment, and slowly he donned a knife like smile. Wine, you dare to come over? You looked at the handsome man who had been successful in the business world and became crown director of Lee Group at the youngest age. Heeseung, I remember that when I met you first, I was attracted by your confidence and sense of respect that you had for me. You are always determined to get what you want. You are completely different from those rich people who only know how to drink and party. You have ability, career, ambition, social status, and good temperament. I was honored when you came after me. I thought you were the one that sent by God for me, and I really wanted to give everything to you. That night, you really gave in to him, but it's just. Haesung closed the car door with his shaky hand and walked in front of you with his charming, well suited figure. So results are different now. He smiled evilly. You looked at the man with slightly red eyes and trembling lips. I was an idiot, so I believed that you would be loyal to me for life. Huh? Loyal? He looked at you mockingly and approached you. What about you? It was different situation. You didn't come after me and stick with that girl. Haesang laughed coldly. It's useless to say anything. I had liked to ask who was the man with you last night. Haesang, I still remember his words. It's the biggest failure for man if a man can't take care of his own women.